to.
Hello, 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 my beautiful people out there. How y'all doing? Before we get started with today's show, I want to say welcome to or welcome back to Sunshine on Wheels with our new segment called Let's Talk About It. And of course, I'm your host, Shana, and we have our co-hosts, DJ and Kimberly. How y'all doing today?
Good.
Peace, everybody.
All right, before we get started, I would like to first thank you two for coming back with your girl. And let's make this a good show. I want to thank also Dr. Kimberly Barrington and 100 Shades of Diversity, as well as GRTV 25 in Michigan, for allowing us to use their platform for us to share our stories. Now, today's topic, I think everyone needs to know this, whether you want to become a foster parent or not. But I still think this is information that could be used. And I do think this is information that a lot of people are not aware of, and it needs to be shared. So the topic for today is says things you need to know between foster care parents and foster care children. I want to let you all know this is no one is bashing anyone. It's just that a conversation that needs to be had and needs to be talked about. That's it and that's all. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Kim, how you feeling, girl?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. What? Because you made this topic.
Yes,
You gave
ma'am.
us the topic. What made you want to go this route and share your journey?
Well, being in foster care since I'm 11 and a half years old and now I'm 40 years old. But as far as what I found out through my husband about 3, 4 years ago, that, you know, parents, once you turn 18, technically you're considered an adult. So with me, up until about 37, before I moved in with my husband, my parents had all my money, you
Mm,
know, and they their thing was they told me, you know, you live with us, so the money belongs to us. Didn't know that no, once you turn 18, it's not like that.
mm,
So, you know, you could go on the route of just saying, as soon as you turn 18, you know, you could take it into a lawsuit settlement. But
mm.
I'm not here to try to do that, you know, because I did not know. So I'm just letting it be for now and see where it rolls.
Okay, now before we go into a deeper dive, I take it as that your foster parents weren't truthful with you,
Correct. Correct.
and they made it seem as though that you better or you will or you must do, no matter how old you are, we still receive it all.
Yeah, it's their rules. I live under their rules, their house, so it's their money.
And although after 18 they still treated you as if your money that you work for is their money.
Correct.
Now the nerve, the nerve, the nerve.
Not only was I doing a full time job, you know, as when I was in my 30s, but my boss ended up screwing up by accident and stopping my
No,
check,
it was on purpose.
or on purpose, and my check stopped. So they got really peed off about that because that was one money that they weren't getting anymore. So now with me working full time with the
Mhm.
kids, and I was a full time head teacher at a daycare, and they was like, okay, we
Okay.
need this money. So I was getting like over $1,000 every 2 weeks, but me getting only like $200 out of the check because the rest went to my parents because they
Hold on.
claimed that they needed it.
Hold on, Kim. I got to stop right there.
Mm-hmm.
You mean to tell me
Mm-hmm.
these adult people that say that they love you, they're going to protect you, they're going to keep you safe, tell you that you're a hardworking young lady. And
Yes.
not only that, you live with a disability, but you go out here and you work and you bring a very decent paycheck home. And
12 hours a day.
for them to
12.
then turn around and say, you
Mm-hmm.
gotta give up your money you work hard for.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now Kim, how did that make you feel giving them almost all you had? How did that make you feel? Although you didn't know at that time, how did it make you feel? If I'm not hurt, if it's too much,
No, no,
let
no,
me.
no, no. If we're gonna put crap on the table, let's put crap on the table. Let's just put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
So, you know, it was frustrating at times, but I pretty much paid for everything for them, and they claimed that I didn't. I was just helping out, but I could see maybe giving like 500-600 a month, maybe sometimes a little more. That's okay. I'm cool with that. But like almost 800-900 every 2 weeks when I got paid, it's like no. I wasn't cool with that, but they told me that because I live with them, I gotta help out, pay bills, and everything else.
So I'm not gonna jump in much, but I'm gonna let y'all know some numbers. So we calculated from the time she was 18, she received about $1,200 a month, $1,300 a month, something like that in Social Security. $1,300 a month times 12 times 22 years is over $463,000. Okay, that means that her parents not only took $463,000, but they took her work check of, let's just say, $1,500, $1,700 a month. She worked for 8 years, and the last 4 years of her job is when she started realizing, because I talked to her. See, here's the thing. Foster care now, to me, has become, some parents, not all. A foster child is not a foster child. To me, a foster child is a child that is coming into your life that you're going to love, protect, cherish. Now, until they're 18, you're responsible for them. Doctor's appointments, food, clothes. They did that. We're not disputing that. They were good too. They did have to love her. They did have to take care of her. But the problem is, and a lot of parents do this, and children don't know. I hate the term foster child. You're a foster child. You're not a child of mine. Stay over here. No, I don't believe that. A child that comes into your home, whether it's 6 months, 9 months, a year, whether you adopt them for the rest of your life, that is your child. And you are providing care for that child or those children.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of parents think, and those folks did a lot of foster care. A lot of foster care.
93 children.
96.
Oh, sorry, 96.
Children to be exact.
Hold on, DJ. Hold on, DJ. Kim, you said a total of 96 children had been in and out of this foster care home?
Correct. From newborns up until teenagers. We have all different kinds.
What? Now it makes me wonder, was this really somewhere where you can be a child, or is this something that was a business for those adults?
That's a great question. That is a great question.
That's something I really wouldn't ever really know.
Who did Shana just nail that question?
Because
boy.
I know when Christmas time and everything else, we got the Christmas tree was filled to the top, and everything else.
Of course,
So
it was.
Christmas was amazing.
They had all the money. I mean, look. See, part of this is the unknown can hurt you, and if you don't know your facts, if you don't know that you're entitled to your money for your benefit at the time of 18, the parents can do this, and a lot of them, not all of them, do it to work the system, because they don't report what's really happening. They don't report what's really going on. Children are being abused, molested, sexually abused, raped, lied to, malnourished. Now, I'm not saying Kim was, okay? No. That didn't come out of her mouth. If she chooses to tell that part, she chooses.
Hi, Miss Cindy.
But the problem is, and Shana hit it right on the head, it is not a business. Foster care, the love of a child is the love of a child to take care of a child, not for the money. I believe, and this is just my belief.
I don't know if you've ever heard Miss Elliott or anybody say, but they did say that when a child becomes into foster care, they are property of the state. Property, not even human. Property is freaking a table or chairs or something. That's not human life. That's really messed up for someone to say, you're my. And let me let you guys know, I don't know if anybody else, when you are born with a disability and coming into foster care, you get more money. The parents get more money because you're a disabled child. And yes, and they have put me on records as MR.
Now,
and clearly I am not that.
Just to clarify, in some states, okay?
Almost all states.
It okay. Does clarify cost of living and all of that into that too. Now, Kim has some mental disabilities, but she is not and never has been classified as MR. Okay, but on her paperwork, the doctors and
school
and her parents have classified her as that because they signed off on it. So when you sign off on that, now she did take some special ed classes, but that does not mean that you are MR, and I hate using that term, but I don't know the other term to use to
challenged.
Well, not even challenged. Everybody is mentally challenged in some way. So see, you can't use it as that. But to say that you have a severe mental disability involving other things, and you don't, it really, and again, when all this happens, the parents have to sign off on this. The doctors can say what they want. They tried to put me in special ed class. My mom said, nope, my child's brain works just fine. I couldn't set up or point, but I could speak in full sentences when I was 1 year old. Most people would see a picture and they would go, boy, swing. What is that, DJ? Boy swinging. And I would put it together. But that's what happens in our society. When somebody struggles, they automatically want to go, oh, you're disabled. Oh, you're learning disabled. You have this, you have this, you have this. They don't let the child, thank you, cognitive behavioral.
Thank you.
They don't let the child and the parent figure it out or work through it. They're so quick to diagnose and say, you have this. There's nothing wrong with my wife. She learns differently. We learn differently.
The only reason why I believe I was in special ed is because I see numbers and letters backwards a lot of times.
Dyslexia. Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it is hard for me to read a little bit because of that. That's why, I'll read something, sometimes I get frustrated. But, with my husband's help, he's like, just try it again, and stuff like that. But yet, that's why they have stuff on the phone to teach you, and read for you. So I have more easier, if someone reads to me, I comprehend it better, but then versus me read it myself.
She is an auditorial learner, and like me, I'm more. She's hands on. I'm hands on, and when I hear it, I understand it better. I can comprehend it reading it, but we understand it better when we hear it. But going back to kind of what she was talking about, see, your foster parents are supposed to provide for you. Well, providing for somebody means being honest. And when you're not honest with your child, who is no longer a child and is at the age of 18, and they take that money and use it for their own gain, it's not right. You don't take money and go to the casino and say, "Oh, we don't have any money left for milk. I need your check." I'm sorry, you don't do that. I meant when you sit down with an 18-year-old or a person that pays rent, you take that rent and you divide it by the number of people in the household. That is what you are supposed to do. There is a specific number for room and board for the money that you receive for them to pay. Like Kim said, she would pay $600 or $700, no problem. But you're not taking my whole check. And when she realized that's what they were doing, and people were telling her, but it's hard because they're your parents and you love them. No, they wouldn't do that to me. That's not what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing.
Yes.
And she goes, wait a minute. Why do I only have $200 in my account when I'm working 12-hour shifts 5 days a week plus overtime, and I've only got $200? Why?
7:30 in the morning to 6 at night, 5 days a week.
Because that is greed. That is narcissism. Oh, we love you. Oh, we'll do anything for you. No, you won't. You have all my money.
That's not love. That's abuse. That's abuse. That's you using a person. You are taking advantage of someone. That's not love. And for you now, I just want to say this because it's making me upset. The fact that a lot of foster kids go through a lot of things before they may be able to find a home or someone to love and care for them. Now, you are the people, the parents that are going to take this kid in. And some of these children go through a lot. They go through a lot and just want to be loved and just want someone to love them, parent them, and care for them. But for you to sit here and take advantage of me, it makes me feel like, well, they got the property part right, I guess, because you're using me. You're just taking from me and not caring that I got to get up and I'm gone all day long. And then all my money is gone and I don't know why it's gone. But it's like you're using me.
A foster child does not want to be treated as a foster child. A child wants a stable place to live where they're not bumped from home to home.
Correct.
They want to make a mistake. They want to push boundaries. They've been mistreated their whole lives. They've been bumped around.
Oh my.
Over 60% of foster children are molested and sexually abused. Over 60%.
Correct.
And my wife my
I'm
wife
just lost.
my wife has been through hell, and there are things that she knows.
We had a person that was living with us at the time, and an adult friend of my parents, and I could have been maybe between 14 and 16 years old, and he put his hands on me, didn't sexual in a sexual way, but didn't penetrate or anything like that. And I had told went to go tell my parents, and he was like, I'll give you money for you not to say anything. And I'm like, no, like, no. So I had told my parents, and they were like, no, he would never do anything like that. So till this day, they're still friends, and I considered a liar of it.
Oh my. Oh
Now
my. And
you go to your parents and you tell them this happened to me in a sexual way, and they say no, you're a liar. What kind of parent is that?
I understand kids make up stories. All kids do. But why would a child make that up?
how
Why?
could a child make that up if they never experienced that before? You're not going to
Exactly.
pull it out of the sky. And the nerve, and it's sad that children are going through that today with
Mm-hmm.
parents not believing them.
Mm-hmm.
It's so sad and it's so sick.
And the other part of it is when it becomes part of the norm, when it becomes a normal thing and kids see it in the household and they experience it, and the part that feels good, they don't know whether to feel good or feel bad because of what's going on, and their minds are so messed up they end up in psychological therapy for years because they've been torn down, and it that is never a norm. A child should be treated as they are and not a manipulative toy for a parent to use and do deranged things to. And this happens far, far too often in our system.
Mm-hmm.
There are men, and when I was sexually abused when I was 15 years old. I was not in foster care. It took me almost 10 years to tell my parents that I was sexually abused. And it was confusing because
Mm-hmm.
you don't know at that time what your brain is processing because you're trying to process what the heck is happening, and it's traumatizing. There are still triggers that she faces. And
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm here for some of them. She'll wake up in the middle of the night screaming because it doesn't, the trauma doesn't go away. It takes years and years of fighting and battling
And how many times have you gotten hit in my sleep?
it's your body is conditioned. I'll reach over to hold her and she'll freak out because in that state she goes back to oh my god, not again, not again. And
Mm-hmm.
I understand it, and we are working through it, but it's a battle. It's a constant battle where this happens far too often, and you
Mm-hmm.
need to talk to your social workers. You need to talk to to let people know what is going on. I believe in having um, you know, video cameras in the house, because I want my
Mm-hmm.
child to know this is a safe area for you. There will never be a video camera in the bathroom. There will never be, but I need to protect you and I need to protect myself. So I have cameras set up that, so that we can record what goes on. And if anything happens, I've got documentation to show that it doesn't or it does
Yeah,
because it's there on camera. And some foster parents are loving and understanding
they
and
are.
only take some of the money which they need to take care of the child. That's what it's there for. And notice I didn't say foster child. I hate that term. Hate it. Foster child. That's my son or daughter. Leave it alone.
Exactly. We are in the process of
That's right.
appealing to because we want to adopt this little boy, and he's our whole world. He is amazing and the sweetest little thing. He's just turned a year old, and we're in the process of appealing the decision because we found out the state screwed up and said that we couldn't appeal it.
No, not the state. Not the state. The social services.
Social services screwed up and said we couldn't appeal it, which was a total lie. So we are in the process of appealing it, and it's been over, I think, a month, if I'm not mistaken.
About that now.
Yeah. So if we can't end up getting him, we definitely want to become foster parents and show a kid a better life.
I wanted a foster child since I wanted a child since, now I got me saying it. I wanted a child since I was 25 years old. And am I scared to be a father? Heck yeah. Do I have the manual to know everything? No.
There's no manual when it comes to kids.
There's no manual when it comes to kids, but I do have love and support because I was given that. Thank God I had a mom that never, ever, ever took advantage of anything. She worked her fingers to the bone. And my mom never once talked me down or told me I was worthless or told me I'm meant to be seen and not heard. I have heard conversations where she's been yelled at and talked to like she's 4 years old and told, you don't know what you're talking about. You're stupid. You're this, you're that. Tell my wife she's stupid now. I'll come through that phone and put a number on you Ajax won't take off. I can tell you that. I just, it is amazing. It's the only foster care system we have, but we got to treat it right. And some of the things that we hear about foster children, they're burned with boiling water, they're punished, they're beaten with belts, they're all of these things. We looked at this list when we were becoming foster parents. You can't, and they listed some of this stuff. Tie the child up with rope. You can't, beat the child with sticks. Like, I'm like, people do this?
That's what I said.
Really? Like Mickey Mouse came out from it. You gotta be joking, huh? No way. I'm like, but seriously, this happened, and they had to put it on the form. And I honestly teared up signing the form because. Thank you, Cindy. I'm so proud of my wife though, because this has been in her for years, and this is the first time that she's talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say something before we go any further, that I have a different view, even more of Kim now. I mean, I love Kim.
Love you
but
too.
To hear her story, to hear what she's been through, you are one of the strongest I've ever seen to do it. It's not easy for someone to sit and share their journey. It's not easy for someone to share their truth and not worry about hurting those that you thought that loved you. It's not easy because you may get treated a certain way for you sharing your truth. Mm-hmm. And I just want to tell you that I'm proud of you, because I can guarantee you there are a lot of others out here that have experienced what you've experienced, maybe even worse, and they need to hear your story, because your story will help them overcome what they're going through. Mm-hmm. And your story will also help them realize that it was nothing ever wrong with me. I was treated as property, but I'm so much more than that. I'm
Yep.
so much more than being used. I'm so much more than being neglected. I'm so much more than getting a check. And I want to tell you that I'm proud of you. And DJ, you are a great support system for Kim. And you two keep rocking it out.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you're welcome. It's not easy. It's not easy. And I tell everyone, don't complain because you never know what someone else has been through. And I can honestly sit here and say, Kim, I never knew that. And it's
Well,
teaching me even more. Although I say no need and complain about it, you know where. But
Yep.
for you to share your story, this can help somebody in a major way.
and
Absolutely. Go
and
ahead,
the
bro.
and the funny thing is, we were talking about doing this. I go, you need to rip off the band-aid. It's time, because she's trying to protect her parents, and I understand that. But
Mhm.
to me, if you do wrong, suck it up. Sorry, I meant, if you get called out, you get called out,
Yep.
and it's been way too long for these people to do this and not answer for it.
Yep. And they know also that our wedding reception is
Mm.
coming up May 23rd. I'm not asking for any help. No, nothing. That's not why I just brought this up on air. But, as a parent of an adopted child, you need to treat them as your own, even while they're your foster child. But I hate that word too. But it, I have to put it out there like that right now. So, we've asked, I've asked, just to see if they would help with the wedding reception or whatever. And they're saying no, they're not even coming to it because they can't travel. And we offered, a plane ticket or a train ticket, and even to stay with us, and and they're like, no. So, they
Well,
won't even come to their own daughter's wedding reception.
well, since my wife brought it up, let me just shed a little more light on that. See, from the time that we've been together, most of it, her parents didn't accept it. And the reason they didn't accept it is because I brought light to Kim's darkness. And I showed her what was really happening. And she thanked me. And she pursued me in a way that I've never been pursued before.
Like
So,
my white boy.
well, she stalked my Facebook, my YouTube, my Instagram, I meant, and I thought about it. I'm like, why? And I realized her parents were scared to lose her, because if they lose her, they lose that money. Oh my God, she
That's the
came
meal
on.
ticket. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
she
they're
knows
gonna
how to lose
lose it
out.
all. How dare her go out here and have a
Woo! Yes, ma'am.
Oh, she's frozen.
That's okay. She'll come back. She'll come back. Um, you okay? You're back.
wow.
Okay. Yeah, it was a meal ticket, and the funny part about it is, I was an invalid to them. I was just a person in a chair that couldn't do anything. I wasn't, I would never be a man. Kim would have to take care of me. I'm gonna have to. I couldn't provide her for anything. I got no money. I got no this. How you know what I got? I tell you what I got. I got your daughter, don't I? But but I digress.
And I found out the only reason they allowed me to have my money in my bank account was because they have, I don't know if they had bills or money that was being taken out and stuff like that. Well, they didn't want that to interfere with my disability check that I was getting. So they put it in my account, and so it wouldn't get touched. And then I still had to give them almost pretty much the whole disability check. No, the whole disability check. Pretty much, yeah.
The whole disability check, her whole work check minus $200. And they received retirement and Social Security too. So, you know,
these people need to be in jail.
I said the same thing, but I digress.
I mean, I'm not trying to go there. I'm not trying to go there, but I'm going there. This is all illegal. How that?
It's so illegal. It's so illegal. And so many parents
are doing it, especially if the child is disabled.
Easily.
Yeah, because they said that because even though you're 18 on paper, doesn't mentally, they said I wasn't that. Mentally, they were saying I was maybe a 13, 14-year-old.
No, this was your parents saying this?
Yeah, that's why they were able to get my check because of me being MR. They were saying that the state, they put on paper that I was MR, so they said physically I was 18 or 21 or whatever, but mentally I was much younger than what I was. BS.
And the only reason she was mentally behind was because she didn't have the life experience, because they wouldn't let her go anywhere, they wouldn't let her do anything.
Well, I did go out with friends and stuff like that, but also I had to be home at a certain time. And if I wasn't
because they don't want you to get a thing.
And if I wasn't home, correct. Mm-hmm. If I wasn't home at a certain time, I would get grounded or whatever. And mind you, I was a teenager, adult already. They would take away my cell phone for 2-3 weeks at a time.
Which she paid for.
Yeah. And, you know, they were like, if you can't obey our rules, you can't go out. And the only way of your communication is your phone.
What?
So a lot of stuff I've been through. Yeah.
And
I mean, there was good times too. Don't get me wrong. I still do love my parents, even though all the crap that they put me through. But
I don't know how you do.
Yeah, but you know, they're still my parents, and they're old now. So you know, God will. When time comes, God will handle it. I don't have to really worry about, you know, stuff that's happened to me. Because you know what, I could be a bad A as well. But you know what, I've learned as I got older, there's no need for that because God will handle what He got to handle when time comes.
You got to answer for what you do in this life.
Exactly.
And I got to bring up one name. I do want to bring up one name. Our friend Trevor, like he was instrumental in a lot of the things I've talked about. You know, he knew some of the stuff he didn't know, and you know, we don't always see eye to eye. But when it comes to Kim, he knows that I love her, and I'm gonna do everything for her. And we both know what her parents were doing
And he
were
was
wrong.
also a foster
And
child.
he's been through
Hell and back.
hell and back to get. I mean, you talking about foster care? Good Lord! I mean, and when you're bounced around, see, this is the hard part of a foster care. When you're bounced around from home to home to home to home to home, you think you're just a temporary resident. You don't get
Right.
to establish that warmth. You don't get to establish love. You run away because you think, well, they're just going to give me back anyway. You rebel because that's all you know. When a child knows only one system, only one way, that's all they're going to do. They have to be shown, they have to be molded and disciplined the right way. You don't beat the crap out of them. You don't, and you don't stick them in a
Yes.
corner all the time either. You have to show them, listen, this is why this is wrong. Can we try it this way? I understand that you miss your mom, but right now your mom is trying to get better because she's going through this, and this. You're with us, and we're going to take care of you and help you to develop the way you need to. But
Correct.
we can't do it without trust from you and trust from us. Start a journal. Write a journal with your child. Do activities with your child. Show them that you love them. Don't just buy them things. Color with them. Do things that they love. Play board games with them. Go outside and go to the park. Fly a kite, for God's sake. My child will know that his father loves him.
Our child.
Well, I'm just saying, from our child will know that he's loved.
He or she is loved.
He or she or they or them, or if we get 6, 7 kids, I'll hold 3 on each arm. We'll go with it. I'll work it. I'll drive with my foot. I'll figure it out. When I
Or
helped,
let the baby drive you into the wall.
when the first data I ever got from the little one we were trying to get in our home, that melted away everything I thought I couldn't do. When I'm at social services filling out paperwork and I hear Dada, and I didn't acknowledge him, and I hear Dada, and I didn't acknowledge him, and he screams it across the room, Dada, and I go, what? And he goes, and he just laughs. Laughter can melt away some serious stuff.
Yep.
And I've always had that question of, will I be a good father? Will I know what to do when the time is right? Can I change that? Can I change that diaper without throwing up on that little boy? I got to have a bucket right here, and we gonna go with it. We gonna find this out. It's a journey, but remember this: your child is also on a journey as well.
Yep.
To find out who they are. How do you know who they're going to be if you don't let them try?
Correct.
Whether they're disabled or not, whether they have a mental condition or not, whether they have 1 arm, 2 arms, 1 leg, 9 toes, and green skin with little antlers popping out of the head, they're still people. And here's the other thing. My mother, I'll tell you a little story. I was about 2. And I wanted to go over and play on in the doctor's offices, they had those little playrooms where the beads and stuff were and the ball bath and all that, all those little things over there. And I told my mom, I want to go over there. She said, all right, if you get stepped on, don't come crying to me. And this lady walked in, and I'm crawling on the floor doing my thing, going toward the toys and the books. And she looked at me like, oh God, oh, his mother's letting him crawl on the floor. And I turned to that lady and I said, ma'am, I have CP, but you can't catch it. And my mom knew at that point, that lady sat down, shut up, went about her business, and I went to play with my toys. My mama knew I was going to be all right. My mom told me I could try anything I wanted, and I could do anything I wanted as long as I put my mind to it. If we encourage our children and show them that we support them and they're not freaking property, they need to change that mess right there. That needs to change. That word property needs to come out of the curriculum, because that's
yes,
defecating to a child.
Mm-hmm.
That's detrimental. That's basically listing a child as an item of value. That child is more valuable than any item you will ever have, and that child cannot be replaced.
Correct.
My dad used to say, I made you, I'll make another one just like you. No, baby, there's only one D to the J with the rollaway. You ain't making another one. You may make one similar, and he may look like me, but you ain't making another me.
Mm-hmm. And I want to put it out there, just because you're born differently than the average person, but there's also no such thing as normal in this society. You can become foster parents. You can love on a child, no matter if you're born different, no matter what color you are, no matter what if you have a mental disorder or not. A child will change that. A child puts heart and everything else. You could be the coldest person ever in this planet, but as soon as a child touches you, it's like mommy or daddy or whatever, it's game over. It's like, this is my kid. Regardless if I'm gonna have him for a day, a week, up to many years, that's still considered your child, because the child is in your home. I don't like the word foster child, and I would never consider our child a foster child. No, that is wrong in the society, is wrong in the system, and we would never do that.
Our child doesn't need a label.
No.
Our child is our child. And the funny part is, Kim worked in a daycare for 8 years.
Yep.
And I was with her 4 of those 8. That's when we met. Plus, the 4 that she's been here. And there was one little girl, and I remember I remember her.
Layla and Noah.
Well, Layla and Noah was the first.
Noah was my baby.
Noah was the first child that interacted with me to the point of call me dada, and he would listen to me, and when he wouldn't go to sleep, Kim would call me, and we would I would read him a story or say, sit your butt in that crib and go to sleep like a good boy, and he'd look at me and stick his tongue out and then go to sleep. And Layla came in. Oh, she had me wrapped around her little finger. Layla was the princess of princesses. She was so cute in her little smile, and I grew to her so fast and grew attached to her. Got her stuffed animals and books and all sorts of things. And